Hey guys, how you doing? It's Richard. Really excited to talk to you today. Just so you guys know, I'm doing a series here of a lot of things in regards to digital advertising and our products. And this actually be one of the first parts of that series. And actually throughout that training series, we'll be talking about, product overviews, how to overcome objections, best practices, your relationship with your DASC, stuff like that. And really excited to talk to you today in particular about one of our digital advertising products, targeted display, or more commonly referred to as remarketing or retargeting, or you might hear it a few different ways, but for the sake of this conversation and this training, we're going to just refer to it as targeted display. Okay? Now, targeted display, in a nutshell, is all really about reaching the right person at the right place at the right time. This is kind of that concept where you feel like you're going to a site and then you leave that website and you go to a different site, and all of a sudden it seems like you kind of start seeing ads that are following you, and you're kind of not sure, like, what big brother-ish data is out there and all those things. I'm actually going to break down exactly how that works and how those ads are delivered to you, and you'd be surprised. It's actually, in a nutshell, you're typically always logged into something. So they're not following you, well, they are following you, but you are actually kind of allowing it, in that you're going to that concept. And in essence, you're kind of like showcasing that you are interested in a product or service or something at some given point, which most of us are when we go online anyway. So just to kind of start out, I want to just talk about us as consumers for the first part, right? So, we're online, all of a sudden, we're on Amazon, we're on Target, ESPN, whatever the case might be. And let's say we're looking at content, or we're searching for content, or at one given point, let's say we're even looking for, let's say, like a blender, right? Then all of a sudden you kind of start seeing ads for blenders everywhere. Well, believe it or not, most companies, especially larger ones that have a lot of different product pages, have what are like little parts of code on each one of their pages. They're called tags usually, but they have those retargeting tags on each product page of their website. That's why when you are going to a page on Walmart.com or Target.com or Amazon.com, and you're actually looking at information related to that blender, and then you leave that site, a code is actually dropped on you so that they can see, hey, look, this particular consumer is interested in a blender. And so, because I represent some high fancy appliance maker or something like that, and I have a blender for sale, you are of interest to me, and therefore I want to put in front of you my product line of blenders. And I can do this via targeted display or retargeting. This is kind of how this works. It's actually a very simple concept. And if you really think about it, just as a consumer, when are you ever not logged into your Gmail or Yahoo or Outlook account, or your social media accounts or something like that? Well, all that data is available as a consumer behavior, and that's exactly how we talk to our clients in the field every day about it, right? Just paying attention to the consumer behavior, and in that way we can kind of showcase who is in market and in interest or of value to that particular business owner, because they have showcased to have interest in their particular industry, service, or product. Okay? Now, we break it down in a few different ways, and it's actually pretty clean. Okay? Now, just for reference, targeted display does refer to the image ads that we see on different websites. They usually look like a box, right? So if I'm on a website, I usually see like a box kind of on the right hand side here, or maybe you'll see like an ad that's like long, kind of like this, called a leaderboard. This is called the big box or medium rectangle. And these are ads that are also available via a mobile device as well. Sorry, this is my very bad mobile phone, but same thing, 300 by 250. You might see it as you're scrolling through an article page or a news page on your mobile phone. The idea behind it and how we kind of go about our hyper-targeted display campaigns is actually threefold. The first one being a concept called a network target. Okay, so we already have carved out kind of like hundreds of different what we call networks. And networks are really kind of just a bunching or a gathering of different websites that fit a particular niche interest group. So for example, and I'll kind of stay on this one just for the sake of the training. Let's say I am a financial broker, right? Well, we at LPI have what is called a financial network, or a network of websites that more or less relate to the financial industry, so that if a financial broker says, hey, I want to actually reach people who are interested in, rolling over 401, or I want to reach people who are interested in annuities, we're going to put their information in our financial network and on those sites in our financial network, because they're most likely to have a consumer who is in need of their service. For example, if the finance network, which we do have, may consist of sites like Forbes.com, thehill.com, so on and so forth, like sites related to the financial sector of the world, right? Just basic financial economics, nothing too crazy. But we suggest being on those types of sites because the first level of this is that let's at least kind of get you on sites that make the most sense for you as a representative of your industry, and let's put you on sites that have the most likelihood of having consumers who are interested in your services or in need of your services or products at that given time, okay? Now, next is actually pretty interesting. The next way that we target or set up our campaigns for targeted display is by behavior. Now you might say, hey, I'm not just interested in people who are on those networks, but I'm also interested in people who are actively interested in bettering their finances or financial education, or have shown interest in needing help with home finances or personal finances or something like that. There are varying and a multitude of different behaviors that we can target by as well. Okay. Now, these behaviors are basically a derivative of people showing interest throughout the internet, or basically during their session online, of going to different pages, looking at different articles. All that information for the most part is being tracked, right? Like I said, you're usually logging into something because you're looking at content related to something. And that content that you're looking at most likely showcases that you are in market or becoming in market for something, right? Even if you're looking for mortgage loans and things like that, you might still be of value to somebody who's in the financial brokerage firm, because maybe you're starting your life, maybe you're kind of like having a family, or maybe you're, at a different stage of life where you're like, hey, look, this is my second home and I kind of want to get my finances in order. That person is probably going to make sense for a financial broker. So that's the second way that we can do it. And again, there's a crazy amount of different, variables and behaviors and interest groups that we can target, but that's usually kind of like getting a little bit more granular from the network. And I'll show you another thing after this. The last one that we do is called keyword contextual. So this is actually getting very granular. I can actually target somebody who is looking at specific or searching for specific keywords or keyword phrases throughout the internet, throughout all your information as far as like what you're looking at, blogs, things like that, have some type of element to it that showcase exactly what you're interested in. So again, if I'm a financial broker and you're looking at articles related to paths to personal financial freedom, or ways to get out of debt, or what to do, 5 top questions to ask when you're transitioning jobs because you're rolling over your 401k. These are specific types of like concepts, articles, or content, that would be interesting to a financial broker to target, because if you're a consumer and you're looking at content related to that information online, I would like my targeted display ad to show in front of you, because you're never going to leave that site. You're going to do normal stuff, right? You're probably going to go to a site. You're probably going to go to Target or Amazon or something like that. But I would love to have Richard Brown Financial Advisor or Broker, my ad show up as you're doing that experience, right? Just to make sure that I'm top of mind and relevant as you're going through that consumer buying process, or you're thinking about making that investment. I want to make sure that you know that I'm putting out there information that's educational and informative, and whatever that campaign details as far as the brand that I'm trying to put out there, there. I want to make sure that I'm in front of you because you've already showcased that you're highly interested or most likely about to do something related to or in need of my services very soon. It all is really kind of getting to a point of traveling through, and I talk about the consumer buying process a lot because there's a part of me that has this traditionalist in myself, that I do believe that, you know, advertising and marketing is about putting people in market for something. It's your responsibility, or it's our responsibility, to make sure that we're educating our clients, and also through that process we are showcasing that we can put people in front of those highly involved, highly engaged consumers throughout that entire process, right? So, kind of like, just to recap, targeted display is not that scary, right? It's just the concept of data that's being collected, most likely due to the fact that you're typically logged in, right? Even when you close out an app, you know, if you're logged into your apps, you're not necessarily logging out of them on your phone. You're technically like logging out. You're technically just closing the apps. You're never really logging out. So be sure to like pay attention to that concept, and you're going to do it the next time you're even on your phone or the next time you're online. You're going to notice that that's just what it is. But at the end of the day, this is a high value concept for a lot of our clients. They do like the idea of contextual keyword targeting and being able to kind of like pick out certain networks. So definitely discuss that with your digital ad sales executive when you have a lead or you have an opportunity with a client, because that is actually one of our top producing concepts that we have here at LPI. The reporting is excellent. It actually showcases a lot of different geographical areas where traffic is coming from. We're driving all that information to a site or a landing page, but it's all very relative to what we do, and obviously it's all very beneficial to the client. So never neglect it. Always be able to ask questions and always kind of have that open dialogue with your digital ad seller when ready. The targeted display, definitely one of our highly niche products, and I definitely encourage you guys to learn as much as you can about it. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to myself or your digital ad seller. We'll be more than happy to help you. Till the next video, stay tuned, and hope you guys are being safe out there. Talk to you soon.